He's got a bronze from the 3-meter mixed synchro, in with 3.5 somersault tucked. Well, a very early illustration of how it can go wrong. With only 12 to go from a big field, mistakes will be punished. He never got into anything near a entry position. 22.10. Well, he's already given himself a watery mountain to climb. Oleg Kolodi got the championships off to a good start with a gold in the team event with Sophia Liskun in with 3.5 somersault tuck to 3.4. .25 years of age. Just avoid the big mistakes is the principal aim. Give yourself more pressure than needed. 61.20. Dylan Vork from the Netherlands, who will have got a big boost right across the team from Celine Van Down's gold yesterday. Forward 2.5 with a twist. He had his 18th birthday on Tuesday. He completed at 1 meter, didn't make the final. Straight into the twist. A little bit awry there in his pike position. 58.50. Oliver Homuth gets his first dive of the championships from Germany, and it's a forward 3.5 somersault piked. Very stylish opening dive from the 26-year-old. Nicely done. 7.5, 69.75. Nicolas Garcia Voisier got into the final of the 1 meter competition, in with 2.5 somersault pike. His program goes up to 3.5. Nice hold on the entry position. 61.50. Well, the Dutch fans must have had a good night last night. They turned up here in very noisy form, and with 2.5 somersaults pike for Joey van Etten. Tight piked position. Only got 54 though. Guillaume Dutoit had a very strong 1 meter competition, just edged out of the medals by 1.20 points by James Heatley, the local boy, making very good, in with 2.5 somersault piked. Two Swiss divers have performed creditably so far, a small team. 60 points. Andrei Sheshetek. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. He was also into the final of the 1 meters where he came 8th. Solid start. Yuri Narazzo. Forward 3.5 piked. Years of age. One of the ones for whom making the final would be a real landmark in their career. But he's made a strong start with 68.20. Alexander Kostov of Bulgaria. Earned his diving trade in England, though, down in Plymouth at the college and the Centre of Excellence down there. He's got an inward 2.5 somersault piked. Quite a relaxed style there. This inward dive is quite a popular first one. You can just see his legs rotating there. Inward dive gives them a chance to get a competition feel of the ball, even though they've been practicing on it all week. 54 there. Second Swiss diver, Jonathan Zuko. It's his third competition here in Edinburgh. He's got an inward 2.5 somersaults piked. Always interested to see just how far out into the pool they go. Jonathan quite close to the board on that first line of tiles, you can see, rather than diagonally far out into the pool. Carrying the Spanish flag is Alberto Aravala Alcon. Inward 2.5 somersault piked. Again, it's that most popular of opening dives. Sevens and 7.5s are looking encouraging so far, the way the judges are setting their standard. Remember, they changed the judges throughout, so the consistency is even more demanding. Lorenzo Marsalia from Italy. Good height off the board and a nice sounding entry. We got an 8 in there. It was discounted, but he's still got 69.75. Puts him joint top. Kasper Leziak from Poland. His second competition here. Inward 2.5 pint again. Tidy. Big cheer and big expectation too for the 1 metre gold medalist, Jack Law. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, piked 3.4. He goes right up to 3.8. Oh, he was powerful and he was artistic and he was composed all the way through the 1 metre competition. And straight away, right on the money. 81.60. It's a level above everybody else so far. Milikice Sandro from Georgia. Inward 2.5 somersault pint. Back to that dive again. A long way back from the final 18 months ago. So he's got a hard morning ahead of him. Athanasios Tsirikos from Greece. What a great experience for him. He's only 16 years of age on his senior championship debut and getting a very accomplished dive away for his first taste of the big time. Just 2.4, but he's got 51.60 and some nice marks. Now, Patrick Housting, 13 times a European champion, but had a nightmare in the 1 metres. Completely blew his last dive and missed out on the final. Back 2.5 somersault piked and looking to make amends here. Well, by diving standards, tall, powerful, excellent height, but not the greatest entry position. I want to get a safe one away. 58.50, he was still not seeing the best of him. Giovanni Tocci took a terrific silver in the 1 metres and was overjoyed. He would not have described his reaction as laid back. In with 2.5 somersault piked. Here we go again. Very stylish. His third competition. Looks like a man in form. 72 points, straight 8s. Now, another big name here. The 2012 Olympic 3 metre champion, Nia Sakharov. Had that Rio nightmare when he slipped. Now inward, 3.5 somersault tucked. Terrific spin speed on his rotations. So the big battle is between him and Jack Law. 73.10, a respectable opener, but he knows he can't win it today, but you certainly can lose it. Alexis Gendard from France, in with 2.5 somersault pint. He reached the 1 metre final. At an understated style, quite controlled. 58.50. Second British diver, bronze medalist in the 10 metre synchro from the Olympic Games in Rio. First dive of the championships, 3.4. Another one getting terrific height off the board. British diving strong at the moment. It's an excellent start. 3.4, but it's a 76.50. Damien Celi, 29-year-old, didn't have a great qualifier at 1 metres, 21st out of 27. He struggled to get his game going, in with 2.5 somersault pint. Well, that's a reassuring start for him. .52.50, kept disaster at bay. Juho Hyuntia from Finland. Another one who didn't pull up too many trees in the 1 metre, 25th out of 27. I stand with him with 2.5 again. Took his time at the end of that springboard. Delivered a nice dive. 63. Nikolai Schaller of Austria, just 17 years of age. It's his third competition. And it's a big learning curve for him. His senior championship debut. Hasn't got off the bottom rung so far. 27th out of 27 at 1 metre, 10 out of 10 in 3 metre mixed. 58.50 though, that's an encouraging start. And completing the set, Alexander Molchan, another 16-year-old, making his championship debut here in Edinburgh. Competed in the 1 metre, was a little untidy in that forward 2.5 with 1 twist. Pike, not a very clean pike position, a bit snatched. 54. "20 minutes for the opening round, that's the time in between. Jack Law miles ahead there really, but chased by Daniel Goodfellow, Sakharov, Tochi, Homoth, the pedigree divers there. Only 4 getting 70 and above, only Jack Law getting into the 80s. 12, remember, is the cut-off, but it's so tight there, it's just a matter of keeping in the frame at this stage of the game. Straight away, Tonike of Georgia gets us into the action. Below par for him. .41.85. Evgeny Kuznetsov. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. 3.1. Well, some of the coaches are extremely expressive and some of them are not.
5.5, 7, 6, 6.5, 7.5, 7.
Synchro diving Kuznetsov, 62. Livacek of Ukraine, still to get going. Again, the entry position is not what he was really looking for. Nice tight pike, couldn't come out of it cleanly enough though. He gets 52.70. Oleg Kulady from Ukraine. He's just below the cut. As I said, it's really too early to be worrying about that. It's just a matter of getting the dives away decently. Still got quite a bit of angle on that entry position.
6, 7, 6.5, 6, 7, 7.
To come from Oleg, 60, jogging along in the middle of the pack there really. Justin Vork, 58.50 to start with. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. It's rotating a little bit more. Gets a nice position in his somersaults, but he has to control them when he comes out. 48.05. Oliver Howarth. Experienced. Been into 4 European finals, in with 3.5 somersault tucked. He was just short of 70 with his opening dive. This is a 3.4. He's got a big 3.8 next. So he'll be looking to try and push into 70s, but he hasn't managed it by a long chalk there, 56.10. Nicolas Garcia-Boissier. It was interesting to look at that takeoff position to see how close to the end they get. Not too far, just finding the best spring, 54.25. Johan van Etten. Forward 2.5 somersault Double twist. To 3.4. He's got 2 3.5s. Quite a way back for the takeoff. Just fighting it all the way through the water there. 61.20. Guillaume Dutoit. 60 for his first dive. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. Very relaxed in the rotations.
7.5, 7.5, 8.5, 7.5.
Still has to control them for the entry, but that's very tidy. 70 plus is impressive on the evidence so far. And Sheshutek. In the 3.5 somersault tucked. Quicker rotations in the tuck there. As tight as you can. Just struggling to keep his legs straight all the way through the entry. 66.30. Yuri Arazao. Back 2.5 somersault piked. 3.0 from Belarus. Very heavy. 3.0. 3.4 is as big as he goes. But really slapping the water with his feet there as he kept on rotating. 43.50. Alex Kostov, a British Bulgarian, you could say. Back 2.5 somersault piked. 3.1. 3.0, sorry. 54 points his opening dive. Trying to keep the knees and the legs tightly together, which again gives you a sharper entry. 57. Jonathan Zuko. 3.1. The degree of difficulty on this forward 3.5 somersault piked. Decent start. 10th. Very measured approach along the board. .45. Alberto Adavalo made a nice 64-point start. 3.4. He's got a good program. 3.6, 3.8, 3.5, 3.4. Forward 2.5 somersault. 2 twists in there. Went a long way back from the edge for his takeoff, but didn't get a very good entry line. 51. Lorenzo Marsalia. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 2 twists. 3.4, but didn't really have it under control. It's a bit untidy. 56.10. Kasper Leziak. Nice opening dive. He's got a forward 3.5 somersault pint. One with a lot of height. Can be deceiving. They can look really tall and commanding up there on the board because divers don't tend to be 6 foot plus. And then when you meet them, not quite that tall. He's still a strong figure, 62. An all guns blazing start from Jack Law. 3.5 here for the reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. His whole demeanour, everything about him seemed to suggest I mean business. Slightly across to the side there, but so much you can do with a dive once you're underway. He was up to the 8.5s, 80-50 again. This is emphatic. Sandro from Georgia. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. And if you compare, which is harsh admittedly, Jack Law's approach and the way he crashes into the board, Sandro was across to one side and it seemed to impair his launch, and he never got the dive back. 29.45. It's only the second real disaster we've had so far, second in the 20s. Sirikos from Greece, the 16-year-old. He was 16 in March, inward 2.5 somersault tucked. Again, not holding that entry line all the way through the dive, 44.55. Patrick Housting has got a 3.5 here, reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twists down in the middle section after his first dive. This isn't turning into his week. Quite a way back from the end of the board, whether he's looking to play it safe after the disasters of the first competition he was in, the 1 metre, but that was pretty poor, and he's normally so consistent. Giovanni Tocci, one of the select few who broke through 70 with his opening dive, forward 3.5 somersault pint. 1 metre silver medalist here. Again, his takeoff position was right from the angle, and that affected his line out into the pool. Feet slightly turned at 45 degrees, and you can see the position he ended up in the water. 46.50. It's a fair dip from his opening dive. He can get away with one of those. Man who knows all about the perils of qualifying after Rio, Nia Sakharov. Nine times a European champion, back 3.5 somersault tucked. Well, from a stationary position on the board, really generates the height so quickly through his spins. Brings a real power, 86.40. It's a 3-6 dive, remember. That is a monster dive. Alexis Gendard. Again, a safe way back from the end of the board, but making a decent job of it. $69.75, that's tidy. Daniel Goodfellow also opened strongly with a 76.50, the second best dive of the opening round. He's got a 3.4 value inward 3.5 somersault tucked, and he's got plenty of support. Quick and neat. Different style to Sakharov. Thunders in there and muscular, rather in the Jack Law mode. More than one way to skin the proverbial. 71.40. 10-meter specialist as well. Daniel Selly. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. Again, he had 2 or 3 dives go badly wrong in the 1 meter qualifier. Again, someone capable of generating huge power, but has to control very muscular physique. 54.25. Yuko Yuntia. Back 2.5 somersault piked. Couldn't get that vertical position for his entry. $49.50. He's just rousing himself there. Nikolai Schaller, 17-year-old. Inward 2.5 somersault tucked. 16th after the opening round. Can he put a consistent program together? Not bad. First experience of a major championship like this. Looking to get the entry position strong. 52.65. Just a 2.7, remember. And concluding the second round, Alexander Molchan from Belarus, in with 2.5 somersault. Well, he's in that big clutch of divers churning out scores in the 50s. Needs to get up into the 60s, but 50s would have been decent after that 49.50. We're ready to go with round 3, but let's check the leaderboard. 2 rounds gone. Jack Law, Nia Sakharov, Goodfellow. Really good starts then. Dutoit, Gendard, Cheshutek, Legiac, Poland doing well. And down to the cut, Koledi, Kuznetsov, Tochi, would expect to move up. And those gentlemen have plenty to do. 28 in the field. Oliver Dingley was declared, but has not made the start line.
Round 3.
Anikashvili Tonika, Georgia. Was at the European Championships last year in the synchro event with Sandro. Having a chance to fly solo here. 41 in the previous round. Much better, 51. Evgeny Kuznetsov from Russia, looking very businesslike. Olympic silver in the synchro from London. It's a bit more authority in that dive. It's a 3.4. A strong athletic diver. 66.30, that's his best yet. Stanislav Olifacek from Ukraine. Very quickly into his forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, piked too quickly perhaps, because it did get a bit ragged. Rest falling away on entry. 45.90. Had a terrible start. Collodi has been steady away so far. 2 dives just over the 60-point mark. 3.3 for the reverse 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists. Again coming off at an angle, which won't have helped. Not a great look. Trying to make the best of it with his entry, but the dive judged in stages, 51.15. Dylan Vork, back 2.5 somersault, piked. Never got anywhere near it. 18 this week. Just missed out on a medal in June's European Junior Championships. But that wasn't too great, 31.50. Oliver Homuth. Forward 4.5 somersault tuck. This is a big 3.8. Well, he got the height, but that is a lot of spinning to get under control. Those speedy tucks. Just trying to get his legs together and get into an entry position, which was a problem. 57 from his big dive. Nicolas Garcia, just outside the top 12. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twists, 3.5. Big twisting dive presenting a different challenge. Working hard on the entry, 68.25. Joey Van Etten, 16th. final would be a first for him. And he gave the water a mighty whack with his feet there, just trying to snap into the right position, but overdoing it. Crashing down on the water. 27, that's one of the poorest marks we've had. And he had a few in the 20s. Guillaume Dutoit, Switzerland, a 3.4 in with 3.5 somersault tucked. Starting well, 4th after 2 rounds. Nice and neat. Doesn't go beyond 3.5, but if he can keep his execution standards high, that will do. Not quite as good, 64.60. Sheshutek. 3.4 forward, 2.5 somersault, 2 twists. Again, launching himself at it. Maybe sacrificing a little bit of control for that. 64.60. 3 dives in the 60s for him. Yuri Narazau. Reverse 2.5 somersault piked. Down in 18th place. Trying to get as early as possible into that entry line. Just could have tidied it up all the way through. 54. Alex Kostov, 20th, 2 dives in the 50s, forward 3.5 somersault pike, 3.1. Just raise it up into the 60s. Nice takeoff position. The entry not as upright as ideal, but 57.35. No glaring errors. Jonathan Zuko, consistent, just that little level up from Kostov with dives in the 60s. He's got a back 2.5 somersault pike. Very definitely progressing in his diving career. It's his 3rd European Championships. Didn't make either 1 metre or 3 metre final last year. He's already got into the 1 metre final, so if he can get into this one as well, that would be a good return. 61.50. He's steady. Alavalo of Spain, 3.6. He's got quite a meaty schedule ahead of him. Back 3.5 somersaults tucked. 3.6 again. Quite a bit of somersaulting to control. Didn't find it that straightforward. 57.60. Marsalia. Eighth. Good first dive. This is a back 2.5 somersault piked. 3.0. Quite whippy in his style. He's got 3 strong dives to come. What's his execution going to be like here? Down in the 5s and 5.5s, 48. Slipping a bit. Kasper Leziak going along nicely, in with 3.5 somersault tucked, up to 7th. This is 3.4. He's pretty well hitting the fairway every time. Yep. Nothing major wrong there at all. No wonder he's smiling. That's a very steady 71.40 up into the 70s. That's the way to do it. Jack Law, blinding opening dive. Pretty good second. 3.4 in with 3.5 somersault tucked. Can he keep up this sky-high standard? The 1 metre champion already. Well, he has such a reputation. I wonder if they're going to judge him more harshly than others, perhaps, because the expectations on him are so high. 66.30. That's as low as he'll want to go, and he won't want that sort of score in a final. Enrique Sandro from Georgia, forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist. Well, he had a real disappointment in round 2 with a 29.45 score. That's loads better. 60 points, that's a very good response. Well done. Athanasios Sidikos. Forward 3.5 somersault piked for the 16-year-old who gets on with it once he's up there on the board. Might just take a breath before he launches down the slipway. 57.35. Halsting not hitting his best. It's an improvement. 58 and 42 is way below par for a man whose reputation is to just churning out the high, consistent dives. 64.75, getting there. Can he produce a big one though? Giovanni Tocci. He also had an uneven second dive. This is a forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists piked, 3.4. And that's far more like it. Sixth at 3 meters, fifth at 1 meter 12 months ago in these championships. 52.70 is better than the previous one, but not to his level. Now Sakharov absolutely bashed out an 86.40 in the second round. He's got a reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. It's 3.5. Well, he absolutely soars off the board. Again, big towering presence up there. Great stuff. Yeah, he looks, he's got a lot of strut in him. 89.25. Alexis Gendard. .4, that forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists in there. And middling marks, 61.20. Daniel Goodfellow. Tom Daly's comparatively recent platform synchro partner, a successful one, third, reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. 3.5. 3.4, 3.4, 3.5, 3.1, 3.6, 3.8. His degree of difficulty. Bigger dives can bring the big points, 75.25 from sevens. 7.5. Very consistent. Demian Celi, 2 dives in the 50s. He's got a reverse 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists. So much power. He's 29, and when you compare it to some of the 16-year-old little lads almost who are coming along here, then they're on a scooter and he's on a Harley. But he still has to produce the technique, 51.15. Yuko Yuntia, forward 2.5 somersault, 1 twist. 17th, 3.0. Good opening with a 63 and 49.50. Now, which area of scoring is his natural home? Well, he's split the difference with 54. Well, Schaller from Austria, forward 3.5 somersault piked. 2 dives in the 50s. A little bit of a problem cleaning up his rotations. You could see from that front on angle how much he came away diagonally from the board as well. 46.50, dropped his standard a bit there. 16-year-old Alexander Volshan from Belarus wraps up round 3. That was tidy. Wasn't straight off the board. Not the perfect entry. Bit of a range from 5 to 7. What about Pinion? Let's check where we're going. Nia Sakharov now storming away, 20 points ahead of Jack Law. Britain 2 and 3. And then there's a big gap. Legiac Dutois, Sheshetek. And this is where it matters. Homuth, Salia, and Aravalo, Kulodi, Tochi will want to get going, but look how tight. 12th. It's 9 points, and there's a group of them on 170s. And some of those Georgian divers in particular just looking for progress and encouragement. Let's give the organisers a pat on the back. That's 3 rounds of diving in an hour, which is good going. 20 minutes between dives, which is part of the test of qualifying, how they handle it. A new challenge for Onikashvili Tonika from Georgia. Must have had a little raise of the eyebrows when his name came first out the bag, or however they draw it. Round 4 of 6, back 2.5 somersault piked, 3.0 for Tonika to get us underway. Not the slickest entry. Get up into the high mid 50s, that would be a good mark for him. Just waiting to see what he managed. Bit of a delay. Has to be ratified. Senior officials coming in, talking to the referee just to see what the issue is. Still waiting patiently is Onikashvili, 18 years of age. It's like waiting for the jury to come back in. They won't go on until they've got that result clarified. Well, I mean, just praise the organisers for rattling along with the schedule. And here we go. There's the results at last. Not really worth waiting for. Poor lad, 34.50 after all that. Evgeny Kuznetsov had a bit of a delay there. Now he's got a big 3.6 dive now. Back 3.5 somersault tucked. He's in 8th place. And he's got his bronze from the team event. Disappointment in the team event. They were storming away, but went wrong. Olifacek with a back 2.5 somersault piked. Well, he's done his best to put that opening shocker behind him when he kicked off with 22.10. Oh, it's been uphill all the way since then. Not totally recovered yet. 51. Never got any momentum going. He was at the Diving World Cup, Oleg Kolody, just missed out on the 3-metre final there. Synchro bronze medalist from Budapest, reverse 3.5 somersault. Tucked, it was worth 3.5, but he would have needed a better entry position to get a good return for it. Big dive up next. That's made his life a little bit more testing. 45.50. Dylan Vork, reverse 2.5 somersault piked. He seems to have all the energy to get high off the springboard. It wasn't the going up that was the problem, it was more the coming down. He had a big smack on the water, 37.50. Oliver Homuth, big German contingency here. Back 2.5 somersault pikes, he's 11th. 3.0. Again, got a good leap on him. Could just smooth out the latter stages. 54. Nicolas Garcia. Going along okay at 10th, but doesn't have a lot of spare. Needs to keep his points in the 60s with this back 2.5 somersault piked. He's got 2 3.5s. No, he hasn't. He's got a 3.4 and a 3.1 after this, so his execution needs to be high. Not sure it will be with that. 54. He's going to be on the edge. Now, Jerry Van Etten had a bad 27-pointer the last round. That's definite improvement. Forward 3.5 somersault piked here. Well, he's kept the major mistakes at bay. Got back in there with a 55.80. Guillaume Dutoit. Back 2.5 somersault piked. Fourth European Championships before this. He just made one final individually. 54, that's a drop. Should get through, I'd have thought. Andrei Sheshutek also on course. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked, 3.5. Well, used all the board for his takeoff, but his landing was nowhere near. Right on the end. And then couldn't get the legs raised sufficiently. 36.75. It's blown a hole in his routine. Yuri Narazau in with 3.5 somersault tucked. 3.4. It's as high as he goes. Well, it's a bit of a licorice, all sorts of scores at the moment. 68, 43, 54. Got some sevens in there. 71, 40. That's his best. All change in this round. Alex Kostov. Reverse 2.5 somersault piked. 16th, but not out of it. 3 dives in the 50s. Reverse 2.5 somersault. Pike position. Well, he's not making major errors. If the judges take a fancy to him. Yeah, that one's down in the 42s. He didn't like it that much. It's his weakest. It's spoiled it for him. Jonathan Zuko, 9th. Last year's European junior champion at 1 metre. Reverse 2.5 somersault piked. Never got the legs into the upright position. He was silver medalist at under 18s at 3 metres last year. And in the team event, he's stepping up into the senior ranks here. 42. Again, struggling to keep it consistent. Big test. When there's 20 odd minutes between each dive, it's not like that in many competitions. Not that big, you're on with it. Aravalo, 3.8. That's the big 4.5 somersaulter tucked, but he got through the spins and came up short to the tuck. Now come out of it, but not anywhere near enough. 39.90, that's wasted his big one. Marsalia, 3.5, reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. He's 12th. Needs to get this one away safely. It's a well-timed effort. He's not been that consistent, 69, 56, 48, but that's back on track, you would have thought. 75, 25, yes. Best by a way. Leziak going well, 4th, reverse 2.5 somersault piked, just 3.0. He's got a 3.6 up next. Slightly edging across to the side of the board, and maybe that disrupted his rhythm a bit. He tidied the legs together on entry, 43.50. Oh, Jack Law having a terrific battle at the top with Nia Sakharov, who's reminding Law about who he thinks is the daddy at this event. Forward 2.5 somersault, 3 twist pike, 3.9. It's a huge dive. Big points on offer here. A brave dive, a 3.9. Sakharov doesn't have one of these in his locker. A little bit of shaping on the entry there, but he still gets 76.05. Elikiche Sandro, 3.0, back 2.5 somersault piked. Well, he's had one disaster in the second round, and I'm afraid he's had another one in the fourth.
2.5, 3, 2.5.
Just about completing it. Only got his legs up into the vertical, 24. Sirikos. Back 2.5 somersault piked. Sixteen-year-old. Senior championship debut. Knows what he needs to do with the entry there. 49.50. Not the week we would have expected from Patrick Housding. Got a 3-4 in with 3.5 somersault tucked. Back in 19th, but we know he can produce top quality dives, and he needs to do that now. Well, that's a lot better. Well, to miss one springboard final might be regarded as misfortune. To miss two does smack of carelessness. Still not right at his heights, but it's usually his rock-steady delivery that gets him consistent medals. 64.60. Giovanni Tocci. Great start. Tailed off in the last two rounds. Has a 3.0, back 2.5 somersault pike. Get back onto the standard of his opening dive. Well, he was delighted with that silver in the 1 meters. But he can't be just satisfied with that. 63 is an improvement. Now, Nia Sakharov really setting the standards here. He's got a reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twists, 3.5. Well, he is looking so good. Right on the end of the board, toes over the board, in fact, through all those twists. Look at that hold on his entry line. Well, he's almost strutting around the pool there, reminding everybody that he won gold in London. Alexis Gendard is doing okay, needs to forget about what Sakharov is doing. Back 2.5 somersault piked. 3.0, 7th. Now he's avoided a major error so far. That entry wasn't the greatest, and he knows that. A couple of 60 pointers which will have helped, but 45 will pull him down the important batting order. Daniel Goodfellow third, 3 dives in the 70s, forward 3.5 somersault. Very good indeed, terrific speed in his rotations. Smiles from the British coaching staff. Very good piked position. 69.75, just below 70, but again, high quality. Here comes Big Damian. Reverse 2.5 somersault piked, 3.0. And they've all been in the 50s so far, his dives. 3.0 that's how the drop in standards to 45. Quintia, forward 3.5, somersault piked, now in 17th place. Well, I think he shows his frustration there before he even gets out the water. He knows that he couldn't stop the rotations in time. There they go, and the splash says it all. Frustration of it. 38.75. Nikolai Schaller, 17-year-old Austrian. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, pike, 3-4. Well, he got all the height, but close to a complete failure, really, in terms of entry. Just rushing it, snatching it, and getting nowhere near. Well, the early parts of the dive got him a few points, 28.90. 16, closing the 4th round for us, Alexander Malsham of Belarus, down in 20th. Just a bit too much going on in his dives. He comes out of that just flapping with his feet, that's spoiling everything that's gone before. 25.50. Well, the pressures of a long competition may be beginning to show. Not on Nia Sakharov. 3.27. Doing his best to put Jack Law in his place. Then Goodfellow, Britain 2 and 3. Kuznetsov coming stronger. This is where it matters. Jean Tochi has just got up there. Housting again. He's fighting for his life. Sheshutek just behind, and Zuko right into it. Kolodi has a shout. And these are the minor positions. It might be fairly clear at the top of the order, but in the bit that matters for today, that fight to get over the line and the cut at 12 is proving predictably severe. Tonica of Georgia gets round 5 underway. He's 2 off the bottom, reverse 2.5 somersault piked. He's had a couple of dives in the 50s. Evgeny Kuznetsov, team bronze medalist. Well, he produced the dive of the competition in the team event. Not quite hit those heights today, but he was in a safe qualifying position. 59.50 will mean he'll have to get back towards his best to confirm his place. Oliver Check way out of it. Started badly, never recovered. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. 3.5 was on offer, but he won't get too many points for that finish. Well short. 35. Oleg Kolodi has a big dive here. That's the Forward 4.5 somersault to touch, 3.8. Well, he's gone for it. His dives have tailed off, safely back from the edge for the takeoff, but it was a very messy entry. 51.30 down in the 4.5s. He's going to have to pull one out as well. Dylan Vork. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, 3.4. Well, he had trailed away a bit with his previous 2 dives, but that should get him back on track a bit more without being flawless. Messy in the middle stages, 51. Oliver Hummuth, 10th. Not a lot of spare. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked, 3.5 for the German. Again, excellent height off the board. Works out of Berlin. Very tight there in the tuck position. Not a bad entry. Well, judges still picked a few holes there, 50.75. Nicolas Garcia, 3.4. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists in there, in the pike. Ninth at 1 metre. He's not had a major mistake in his schedule so far, and that's his best. 71.40, well done. Final would be a good reward. Joey Van Etten, reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. This is a 3.5. Heavy entry. Yeah, just falling away as he hit the water. 42. Guillaume Dutoit, 5th. Just dipped in the last round. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. 3.5 here. Well, 54's been his lowest. He's been up to 71. It's got 3.5. Came out quite a way diagonally, but still gets 63 points. Well, he's a regular finalist at 1 metre on the day's Shutek. It's 14th, back 2.5 somersault piked. It's a 3.0 dive. He was going along very strongly with 360 plus scores, and then he had a 36, which has put him under pressure. Partially recovered to 54, so he's going to have to go all the way. Marizal. 9th, forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists and a pike, 3.4. Didn't make the 1 metre final. He's doing a much better job in this extra height on the springboard. 69.70. 2 good dives in a row. Alex Kostov down in 18th, not totally out of it, but 4 2.5 somersault, 1 twist pike. Has a 3-4 right at the end, but time to sparkle. Sparkle might be a bit strong. Didn't get through qualification last year at either springboard height. 49.50, not the score he needed. Jonathan Zuko at 15th is definitely within reach. The 42 in the last round has made his life tougher. 3.5 here for the reverse 1.5 somersaults. 3.5 twists going there. Quite a bit to sort out in that dive. Flailing a bit at times. The entry just was a bit ragged all round. Very ragged. 17.50. Let's collapse that. Alvaro of Spain. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. Now he might have left himself rather too much to do. Being down in 17th, mainly due to that last round dive. And he's not quite got back on the bike with that one. 38.50. In fact, it's even worse. 3.5 on offer there, so his 2 big dives have gone wrong. Marsalia, 6th, where he was in the 1 metre final, in with 3.5 somersault tucked. His big dive comes at the end, the 3.8. He produced a cracking dive in round 4, and that could prove to be enough to get him into the final, because that's dented his cause. 57.80. Leziak of Poland, 7th. Again, a 4th round dip. Back 3.5 somersault tucked. 3.6. This is his big dive. And he has totally blown that. That may well trouble the judges to give them any sort of score. Well, he just about technically completed the dive. 16.20, just about on the scoreboard. Terrible for him. Jack Law started really well, going along pretty well, but he knows that he's going to have a fair old battle. Boy, he's pulled that one out. It's the big 3.8. Travelling out into the pool. Oh, that's an absolute stormer. 89.30. It's as good a dive as we've seen the whole week. Oh, can't wait for the final. Eli Kitche Sandro from Georgia. They really are going to struggle to give him any points for that, apart from the trying or turning up. Right at the edge there for the takeoff. 13.50. That's even worse than Lesiak's. Athanasios Silikos, 16-year-old. Well, he's avoided one of the catastrophes that we've seen so far. Getting the entry, the problem there. Just can't hold his shape all the way through, but gets 40.60. Patrick Housting, right on the edge of qualifying. Forward 3.5 somersault piked. Now that's a bit more like it. Well, there is nobody here with more experience to draw on in these situations. 69.75. That's a very professional response. Tochi, 12th, no margin for ever. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. Oh, he's lost it completely. That was a big 3.5 dive. Oh, surely that is going to be a blank. He never completed it to one side. No, he knew it. When it goes, it goes. Oh, no, incomplete, and that is a big fat blank. Oh, he was on such a high yesterday, and now he's gone right to the other end. Nia Sakharov, 3.4, forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists. Well, he's not come here to mess about, has he? 73, 86, 89, 78. And Jack Law getting a real reminder and a challenge, 79, 90. Alexis Gendard, 11th. Slipped back in the last round, reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. He's just about doing enough. 3.5, the degree of difficulty there. Not the greatest entry once more. 50.75. He's a decent last dive as well. Well, quietly, Daniel Goodfellow has been going along, churning out the good dives. He's got a back 3.5 somersault tucked, 3.6, and a 3.8 to go. Now there's a strong case to say this is not his strongest event. .81, that's another top quality dive, his best yet from the 3.6. Silly. Back 2.5 somersault piked. He's got away a better dive there. getting around the block a bit competitively. Still going to get one really good dive away, 58.50. That's his best so far. Juho Kuntia, Finland, 19th. Reverse 2.5 somersault pike, 3.0. Seemed a bit tentative or deliberate along the springboard, but did his best to keep hold of it all. Just liked a bit of conviction. 39. Nikolai Shallow, back 2.5 somersault piked. Working hard at trying to live in this company. 28 of his last dive. 27th out of 27 at 1 metres, so looking to make some progress here. 48. And even younger at 16, Alexander Molchan from Belarus had a big disappointment in the previous round as well. Reverse 2.5 somersault piked. Wasn't a complete disaster by any means. There's a lot of him to unravel. He found it a bit of a problem there, 40-50. 5 rounds. Let's have a look. Sakharov, quite a display. Goodfellow, impressive. Kuznetsov up there. Dutoit, Garcia, Garsalia, Rizal. Houstings improved and up there to 9th. Homoth, his countryman, just below. Jondar, Sheshutek. Well, there's about 12 or 13 points to Kolodi. And Selly, who's quietly moved his way up there. Kostov, Legiac, but 2.8.2.10 plays 2.69. So that is a gap. And the minor placings. Sochi, what a disappointment for him. Tonika from Georgia. False start there for the forward 2.5 somersault 2 twists. That'll be a penalty. 2 points deducted. Just adjusts the tension on the board. Trying to get a forward 2.5 somersault 2 twist piked away. And his last dive is 3.4. That so hard to come back from. Oh, very, very disappointing end for the young Georgian teenager. Produced a couple of very respectable dives. Well, he scraped some points, but of course there was the 2-point penalty, so it ends up as a 0. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 4th. Forward 4.5 somersault tucked. It's the big 3.8, and he's delivered that. And that should very clearly guarantee his place and remind everyone that he could be a contender. 85.50. That's a quality dive. You know he's got it. Dipped down to 57 and an 85 as well. Oliver Cherk. Back to a half somersault, 1.5 twists. 3.4 to close. 27th out of 28 going into this. That 22 pointer right at the start seems a long time ago now, and it's been a struggle for him. 44.20. Now Oleg Kolodi, just the wrong side of the divide. This is a 3.4 back, 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists. Now if he can produce a really big one here. Well, he's got his gold from the team event. He'd like to be in this final, I'm sure. It's not really a blockbuster, so he's relying on disasters elsewhere with a 56.10. Boat might just have sailed there. Dylan Vork, 18-year-old this week. Jauntily making his way to the end of the board for his inward 2.5 somersault piked. Quite a tidy finish. A couple of dives in the 50s. Get rid of those 30-point dives. Got a nice piked position there. 52.50. Now that's where he needs to be. If he can up his other two dives, then he's getting towards respectable. Oliver Homuth is okay at the moment. He's got a 3-3 reverse 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists pikes, but cannot avoid a disaster. Oh well, no, don't even worry about that. Very clean.
6, 7, 6.5,
That's a nice steady return to Guarantee's place in the final. Nicolas Garcia getting good support from the Spanish contingent. 6th he is, forward 3.5 somersault piked. Nice and steady. Couple in the 50s, avoided major mishap. Very nice 5th round dive. 71, and he won't be too far away with that. 69.75 is a good, solid finish for a decent morning's work. Joey Van Etten. Reverse 1.5 with those big 3.5 twists there. It's another 3-5 dive. He's well down the list. Looking for a nice sign-off. Moderate. 57.75. Had that disappointing 27 in the 3rd round, which put paid to his chances. Guillaume Dutoit, 5th. One very strong dive. This is a 3-4 forward 2.5 somersaults. 2 twists there. And he's made sure there's no major mistake to bring him down. Well, he's got 71-40 and had a good championship so far. Now, the man who can't afford a mistake is Andrei Jeshutek. 12th, reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twists, 3.5. He had about a dozen points lead. So he should have done enough there. Scrape together sufficient points to mean him all right, but 47.25, well, should have got away with it, but I'd have preferred something a bit clearer. Arizal, 8th, inward 2.5 somersault piked. .0. He's had 3 dives in the high 60s, low 70s, and a couple a bit below par. That's middle of the road, 60 there. Middle of a decent final road anyway. Kostov, 3.4, forward 2.5, 2 twists, piked, 15th. Just coming up a bit short, no semi-final. He would have had a second chance in World Championships. Tougher field there though. He's finding out this week that it's hard to make the final of these big championships. And not the greatest end, 44.20. Jonathan Zuko. Had a good 1 metre competition, not quite matched those standards. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, piked 3.4. A few more like that, and after 17.50 in the previous round, at least he signed off with a decent dive just away from the border at a bit of an angle there, but it was a bit more like it. 59.50. Alberto, 23 years of age. Made 3 metre final at the last 2. 12th in 2016, 11th in 2017. Not this time. Fell away in the previous 2 rounds with 2 dives in the 30s. That needs to be his bottom line, about 54.40. He might have given himself a chance. Lorenzo. Ansalia. 7th. This is a big dive, 3.8 forward, 4.5 somersault, tucked. Got a few more of those to enjoy in a moment. Looks great in the spins, but you have got a lot of rotation to control. Very quick. Can't get the entry position. 43.70. It's the one that he needs to be able to deliver. It's a medal winner if you can do it. Leziak has just come up a bit short. Round 4 was not great, round 5 was terrible. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists there. 3.4, but really didn't seem right. Just a hesitation within it. And to keep the legs in some shape. 56.10, too bad to finish. Oh, Jack Law has had a good reminder of the challenge if he's going to make it double gold here. The synchro as well, of course, to go. 3.6 back, 3.5 somersault tucked. And he knows the standard he needs to set if he wants to fight off Sakharov in the big showdown. Well, this is the big fight he's come for, 73.80. The qualification's got nothing at all to do with it. It's all about excellence with him. He's here for gold. Sandro. He had a real disaster in the previous round. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, 3.4. And he was right across at the side of the board for his takeoff and never really recovered from that. Right on the edge, not really getting a firm plant and no shape at all in his legs when he came. So his show has fizzled out. 11.90. He really got 2 decent dives away. Sirikos of Greece. First time at this level. Forward 2.5. 1 twist, piked. 16 years of age. One European Junior silver, 3 meters synchro. His solo flight has been difficult, but 63 points is a good finish. It's his best dive. Nice end. Patrick Housting has had a rocky road. 3.4 here for the forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists, piked. That was a lot cleaner. Well, he's in the final, and all the other divers will know exactly what he can produce. It was a decent finish, and more like his standard score, 71.40, getting it right eventually, getting stronger as it's gone on. Oh, Giovanni Tocci bailed out of his last dive. Got a big fat 0, which has ruined it for him. Inward 3.5 somersault tucked, 3.4, just to restore a bit of pride. Well, that's an awful lot better. Oh, what a 24 hours for him. He really has gone from hero to 0, with a delighted silver medal at 1 meters yesterday, and then a blank in round 5. At least he's ended up with something rather more respectable. Put it down to experience. Well, at least he's got plenty to show from his trip. 69.70 to finish. More like it, a lot more like it. Here's the main man, Nia Sakharov, 27 years of age. Forward 4.5 somersault tucked. Oh, that's a dive. That's a big 3.8. Oh, you're watching Jack Law, the big rival, safe position for the takeoff. Lovely position there. The class act here, 100. That's the best dive of the championship so far. 100.70, Sakharov, every inch a champion looking. A reminder for Alexis Gendard what the standard is all about. 3.5 reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twists, free position. He's just about got himself over the line. Capable of dives in the mid to high 70s, 50, 75. 2 of those to finish. The second Brit has also got big forward 4.5 somersault tucked to finish. This is the 3.8. Look at a heavy entry. 21 years of age, from Cambridge in the United Kingdom. 2016 Olympic bronze in synchro, showing he's got great all-round range. Didn't like that one too much. 41.80 spoiled what has been a very good morning for him. Daniel Selly was within reach of the final, but it might just be too much. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists, 3.4. Well, he's just been reaching for one big dive all morning long that would really have cemented the position in the final. It's just been out of reach. 47.60. Juho Shuntia. Forward 2.5 somersault, 2 twists piked. A bit wild in parts. And he will have come to Edinburgh knowing that his record says he's a bit short of the top 12 and a final. Delivered a good opening dive of 63, 54.40. There's his second best to finish. Nikolai Schaller, reverse 2.5 somersault piked, 3.0. The 17-year-old Austrian has had an experience to remember and to draw on. First senior championships. Had it hard to get off the bottom of the pack. 31.50 there. After a great finish. At least he's here. Alexander Molchan, 16. Just tailed away with a 25 in round 4, then a 40 and 5. Can he finish? Back 2.5 somersault, half a twist piked. It's only a 2.7 compared to the 3.8 of the big guns. Another one savouring the occasion, I'm sure. First taste of the big time. 43.20 to finish. 2 hours and 8 minutes of non-stop diving in this 3-metre preliminary. 28 set off. 12 will come back later today.
Just coming up on the screen, and the top 12 will commence this afternoon to the final.
Well, plenty for the bulk to think about in what might have been. And for 12 lucky men, it's what needs to be. Right, the results have now been confirmed and official. And get ready to take you through it. Here we go with the results of this 3-metre preliminary. Sakharov in a class of his own. Jack Law, excellent too. Goodfellow up to the last round. Kuznetsov to 3. Garcia, Housting got there in the end. Narazau, Homoth the second German. Marsalia had a little bit of a rocky road, but also made sure he's in the final. Gendard and Sheshutek was the man who just got ahead of Kolodi, who misses out. The gap, 4.1, not knife edge, but they will know what might have been those around the 13, 14, 15, Legiac-Selly, what could have been. Tochi, perhaps the most disappointed after a terrific 1-metre show. And we're in the end where it's down to experience, the two Georgians bringing up the field.